we would have knocked out all the bugs, most of the bugs at least. And then we're also going to tell you what new features that they're changing and all the new programs they have for you. So here's an overview. So right now, Burst has told us that they've updated Robot Builder. They released this last year, but not many teams used it, and they're really encouraging teams to start using it since it allows anyone who wants to do command-based programming an easy layout of how to map all the ports and channels to each system. So there's also the improved driver station, and I'm going to talk about that later. There's also Smart Dashboard 2.0. They still have an option to use the old Smart Dashboard, but they've given you a new one, which is based off the Java FX library and has a lot more effects and a lot more features and new libraries, yeah. So Robot Builder. Robot Builder organizes all your subsystems into a really nice layout. You can drag sensors, actuators, controllers into a subsystem, and it'll have everything under folders, and then you can later export it. So I'm going to show that right now. So this is Robot Builder, and right now we already created for our 2013 robot, which was used for a Frisbee game. So for this, you can just drag subsystems like this. Oh, it's not working right now. I'm going to have you record that. So you can press the Java button up here. Everyone can see Java. You can export in Java or C++. So since our team uses Java, we're going to export it right now in Java. So it's going to be saved into your folder that's listed here. Oh, so it's all here. So all the files are already built for you. Oh. Okay, so then you can open it. It's not opening. Okay, apparently it's not opening for me. Still not exporting. Well, it's supposed to export something. Yeah. But right now, it's not doing that, which is a problem. So I'll just go back to the slide. So then it just exports the boilerplate code. It's not actually going to, it doesn't actually write any code for you. It just has everything formatted. So you have all the systems mapped to the sensors that you're going to use, and it's going to be like really easy. But then, yeah. So then it gives you all the code in command-based programming. So does anyone use command-based programming here, or know what it is? What team are you from? Okay. So for the rest of you, command-based programming is where every part of your robot is defined by a subsystem. And with each subsystem, there is like a shooter, which for last year was a frisbee, the drivetrain, and our wall, which is to block the frisbees. And then the commands you can use are like fire piston, which releases our piston so that it will shoot the frisbee out. There's also drive straight for like drivetrains, and raising the wall for our wall. So every system is controlled by commands, and that's what command-based programming is. So this was Robot Builder, I showed you it. And then usages. So Robot Builder, when you start mapping the PWM motors to all the subsystems and the victors and talents, it'll give you and it'll tell you when you map two things to the same port. So now you won't have to deal with like going through all your code, trying to find where the error is. It's going to have everything for you. And then you can easily change the values, like converting motors with checkbox. So I'm going to show that too. Yeah.
Windows.
So like
Windows
right now I have
How do you do that?
what?
How do you do that?
Magic.
Very soft.
On Windows 7.
So back to this. So you see this checkbox? There's a small checkbox over there. So sometimes when you solder the wires to your motors, you might solder them in the opposite way.
We don't solder them.
Oh, when you attach them.
You can attach them anywhere you want. You just,
Yeah, but then you don't want to like pull it out. You can right now. You can instead you can just convert it. So and it just can save you the trouble of having to like pry it out if it like gets fried in there. Yeah. So you can also like alter the sensitivity of everything. You could alter the maximum output, and also for the sensors. So you see how you have the input channels, the digitals. So let's say I have the right motor, the left motor, and the right motor PWM. So the left one right now is mapped to 1 over here. So if you go to the right and you map that to 1 as well, it's going to give you red. And then if you hover over it, it's going to tell you that it's being used by the left. So you'll be able to know if you're having like mapping conflicts. And also becomes red over here. So going back, so you can easily change the value. You can also check there's wiring conflicts. And it also adds automatically to the smart dashboard, all the sensors, but I can't really show that right now since it didn't export. So the code, it exports for Java and C++, but then it's all a framework. It's not going to give you any code. You have to write your code, write the code yourself. So it just organizes everything for you, which is kind of like the meaningless and dull task that you have to do in the beginning. And for first time use, like I stated there. So like once you start adding code, you can't really change any of the values because you have to export it again, and when you export it again, you're going to lose all that code that you've written before. Whoops. Okay, so some improvements it might need. Same problem with last year where there's no way to mass copy and paste. So if you have like two systems that are kind of similar but with like different values, but still have like same sensors, you can't really copy that system and paste it and then just change a few values. You're still not able to refactor codes. So if you rename a system, you can't really have everything else change as well. And it'll be nice if it can export for other robot systems like iterative and simple robot. I know our team uses iterative robot last year. So it only works for command-based program. So, some difficulties. This applies to the driver station and the smart dashboard because this year we weren't able to image our serial after many attempts. I think we spent like 4 meetings doing it. And what the error that always came up was that the serial failed to reboot after imaging, and that just caused the whole process to fail. I'm not sure if any other teams experienced this. So it's just our team. So I'm not sure if it's a problem with the new imaging tool because they just released it, or if it's just some connectivity issues. But we tried on 2 different robots, the one from this year and the one from last year, which was the basketball game, and neither works. So, but I'm still going to go over the new things for driver station. So first is dropping support for Windows XP. So if you're using Windows XP as your driver station, you should upgrade to a newer OS, since Windows XP is like 8 years old now. It'll still work, but first it won't have any updates, so it'll be safer to just update to Windows 7 or Windows 8. So everything, all the NI utilities, like the driver station, the dashboard, not the smart dashboard, just the FRC PC dashboard, they're all a standalone installer, so you won't actually get a DVD now. It's going to be from online. And driver station is configurable to multiple languages. They just added support for that. And there's a bigger space for a camera image. So, so in that huge white space is supposed to be the live feed from the camera, but since I don't have a camera to attach, it shows blank. And then now also has like a checklist. So before you get to the match, you can look over that checklist, and if you double click it, you can like check off everything that you've done. And if you shift click it, everything's going to pop. It's going to disappear. So then before each match, you can check if you've done everything to make sure that your robot doesn't fail on the field. Okay, so Smart Dashboard 2.0. So first, want every team to start using Smart Dashboard 2.0. It's a lot newer, has a lot more features, and it's more compatible with a lot of things. So they still provide you access to the old Smart Dashboard, and they're in different files. So if I go over here, so Smart Dashboard is still there with all the updates and plugins, but then the new Smart Dashboard is in the sfx.zip archive, and you extract it, and this is the Smart Dashboard sfx. So if I open it, it's going to take a long time to open. So while it's waiting, we'll discuss the new features. So it has newer redesigned layout. There are a lot of widgets for everything now. They have like compasses and sensors. So I'll show all the widgets here. So this is from the beta test manual. So they have widgets like the compass that you can use, and you can add and customize all the widgets, like with all the labels. They also allow you to style the widgets with CSS. So if you know any CSS, you can also make your widgets look pretty. So when you're on the field, you can use pretty widgets. Yeah. And then the widgets can also be turned into other widgets if they're compatible. So now you don't have to stick with using like compass. You can use like a graph to track like the angle of your robot. And they also now have different tabs. So you can group your widgets into different windows, kind of like when you have a browser, you have different tabs. So the tab switching will allow you to, like, if you want to put all your like sensors for your shooter into one tab, you can do that. So like when you're in shooting mode, you can see all the sensors at once. Or if you're seeing like all your driver sensors, like the gyro, the accelerometer, you can put those in like a different window to keep everything organized. But then when you're in run mode, it won't actually show this tab down here. So you're going to have to drag the tab widget over into all your windows, so you switch between the tabs. So I think this is the feature that most people are excited about, the record and playback for Smart Dashboard. So Smart Dashboard now allows you to run the record, and then when you run it, it's going to record all data that comes into Smart Dashboard, and it's going to graph everything for you and saves it into another file. So then when you come back, like after a competition, you can play back that file like step by step at every instantaneous moment. You can see what the value of each sensor is, and you can also play it back at different speeds, so you can see how it changed over time. So it'll be good for debugging in case any teams need to see what's wrong during the to see like what went wrong when they walked out on the field. Yeah. And then so the final notes. The installer is now standalone, no more DVDs. The robot builder is helpful in starting code, but doesn't write any code for you, so you should remember that. The driver station doesn't support Windows XP, so you should upgrade. The Smart Dashboard has been redesigned, and there's a nice record and playback feature for debugging. So any questions?
Did the Smart Dashboard load?
Oh my
Let's check.
gosh.
I want to know.
Well, it looks like a little bit more than once. Yeah, so this is Smart Dashboard. I'm not sure where all the widgets are. Seems like nothing works on this computer. Yeah. It seems like nothing actually works properly on the computer. I should have used my Apple instead of Windows. So, what? Okay. Yeah, so it looks a lot nicer than the previous Smart Dashboard. In case anyone wants to compare them. Yeah. So this is the old Smart Dashboard. Everything's like open down here, but now the open is down here and the same is down here. It's all redesigned. It looks a lot cleaner and newer. So yeah. Any other questions?
Are any changes to the WPI library also?
Yes, there are changes to that. It's a 1D. Okay, so here are changes for Java. Are you using Java or C++?
Java.
Okay. So they changed the gyro class, the I2C class, which is the accelerometer. They gave you a cancel when press active and toggle when press active, if you see like over here. But if since you're using command-based programming, it'll help a lot since like you don't have to hold it down now. You just press it, it'll stay there. And a lot of the other things are like fix serial port. I don't think any teams use serial ports anymore. Yeah, so these are just basic changes for Java library. It's not that much unless you're using a lot of sensors, so you don't have to worry about things breaking.
Are there any significant changes in the C++ or no?
C++? Well, since our team uses, it's about the same as Java, like sensors, everything. Any other questions? You look like you had a question.
No, I was stretching my elbow.
Okay.
Sorry.
So, does anyone want to see how robot builder actually works?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, so I can add subsystems now. Okay, so I'll start a new project. Yeah, so once you create a new project, everything's listed out for you, where you have like folders for subsystems, the operator interface, and commands. So for subsystems, you can just drag something from here. It has a nice pretty icon. So subsystem will have like the drivetrain, and you can specify a default command that you want your drivetrain to do. You can like have it drive forward once it comes to drivetrain subsystem. So I'll add a robot drive to it. And I'll add I'm not sure why it won't let me add the PID controller. Oh well, so I did the other project in Mac, so it works a lot better. Try a different subsystem. Okay, I'm not sure what's really happening with this. So I just opened up the old one. That was already working. Yeah, so also I forgot to mention, there's also now a wiring file, so you can save the file as like that, and then when you press wiring table, it's going to open up your browser, and it's going to give you all the wiring, all the mappings. So if you want to like change things on digital sidecards and that stuff, you can just do it here.
I noticed that the robot files are in YAML.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like you said something about not being able to like cut and paste large pieces of subsystems to make.
Well, I meant for the graphical interface. If you know how to work with YAML files, you can do that too. So. Over here. Yeah, I don't have any secret software installed on this. So like this is the YAML file that you're talking about, right? So this is how it actually, this is what the program reads from, and then displays everything graphically. So like, if you want to get into the drivetrain, you can see that it has like a children and then the robot driving and all the vectors that we use. Here are all the other properties. We'll go back and see. Also, work this time export. Magic. Okay, so here's what it exported from this robot builder file. I'm opening up NetBeans. So if you look at the robot map, it's going to have all the controllers listed over here. And then all these are live windows. This is how it interacts with Smart Dashboard. It's going to automatically add all the sensors and widgets to Smart Dashboard, so once you open it, everything's going to be there. So it kind of makes your life a lot easier. So let's just look at the drivetrain that we made. So it basically only instantiates all your drivers from the mappings. And you see over here, there's not really any code. You have to add everything yourself. Like the lights, nothing. And there's no real code. So you can't really try and make a robot out of a robot builder. It just creates a framework for your code. Yeah. That's basically robot builder. Any questions? Comments? Okay, I'm gonna try working on robot builder and see if I can do something with it. I'm not really sure how this works, so I'm not sure what's happening right now. That's giving me all these errors. I have to look into it later. It was working before when I was playing the robot. So, yeah. And so if you know why. So there are also some tutorials that you can look into. So Brad Miller, he's the first representative. He made a lot of YouTube videos last year for robot builders that you can use to learn how to use robot builder. So use it at place where you
Is this what happened? Last night.
Danny, did you guys find any bugs with the data test?
Yes. So one of the biggest bugs was the imaging tool. It never imaged. It always made much of the robot build image. And another bug was you export from Robot Builder, sometimes if you didn't update all your Javas and your plugins, it's going to give you a lot of deprecation errors, and you're going to have to remove those errors and then import all the libraries. So sometimes if you didn't update your libraries, it's not going to give you all the default libraries. You have to like manually do it. It's a pain. So the tip is make sure everything's updated before you actually start developing. Yes. So if you go, does anyone know about the Screen Steps website? So yeah, first has like they released the Screen Steps website where it has like all of the tutorials for writing code for your robot in Java, C++, and also how to use Robot Builder in case YouTube is blocked for you. So right now I'm trying to get past the Great Firewall at school. I guess the school doesn't like the moon, so it's pacified. So I can't really show the YouTube. I love to.
You need to set up a hotspot.
Oh, that's fine. So this pretty much concludes the beta testing seminar. I know we finished 10 minutes early, but if things were working, I will show you some of the cool features that we have. Sorry.